Welcome to class today. I am going to take you through what I've called a desk to evening flow, but this could be for any time where you just feel like you've been doing maybe a lot of sitting and want to release through your hips, and often the front of our body gets a little bit tight as well. So we're going to have a real focus on that today. Let's begin with a little bit of grounding and unraveling, and then we'll take it on from there. So come and lay yourself down. Let's have our feet flat, knees bent, arms just by our side. Close down the eyes if that feels okay for you. And let's just take some nice, deep, refreshing breaths in here. In through the nose and lovely long exhales through the mouth. Just giving yourself a moment to arrive onto your mat. To allow yourself to feel heavy and supported by the ground beneath you. Maybe just realizing, like I am, that I've kind of put myself into a place that maybe isn't so comfortable. So could we maybe just float our arms up, give them a little wiggle, and then as we exhale, just drop the arms down and just see, is that a little bit more comfortable for you there? Let's think about breathing fully and deeply. So in through our nose and long exhales through our mouth. Feeling like you're filling up every last bit of your lungs as you breathe in. And you're emptying every last bit of your lung as you breathe out, which will mean it might feel a little uncomfortable at the end, and you might feel a little tightening around your belly button as you really tap into that system that exhales for us. And notice if you then just allow it, the breath will just come in by itself. Can you feel how narrow you get on that exhale? And how wide you get on that inhale? Now let's add some movement into this. Let's think of our hips here as like they're two lights that are shining up towards the ceiling. And we're going to keep the pelvis nice and quiet in the center and those lights shining up to the ceiling. But as you take your deep breath in this time, could both legs open out as you find that width? And then as you exhale, can you feel that moment where your belly button gets a little tight? And let the belly button bring the legs back together. So we inhale. Feel that expansion right down to our pelvis and send the legs wide. And then as we exhale, can we bring it back together? Now, let's challenge ourselves a little bit here. Could we do one leg at a time? So could we inhale and just send one leg out to the side? The other leg is going to stay quiet, pelvis is going to stay centered, and then bring it back. And then the other side. And just notice, does both sides feel balanced and even? Or do you notice one side is a little stiffer than the other? Let's see if we can challenge ourselves a little more now. So as one leg goes out to the side, pause there. Keeping the pelvis shining up towards the ceiling, could you slide the leg along the mat long? It's going to be in a little turnout. It'll eventually just straighten itself up. And then you drag it back in and you should arrive back in that nice centered position. Let's try that on the other side. So we open out wherever that point is for you. Slide the leg long. Wait for that moment where the leg spirals itself back to center and bring it back in. Just notice how this feels on each side. And see if you can still keep your breath with this. Now, could we challenge ourselves and go in reverse? The first one, often we're having to figure out how far in rotation did I go? So we'll slide the leg along straight. We then rotate. We bring it back and we want to arrive in a place where we've still been able to keep the pelvis shining up. I've kind of tipped a little bit. So I'm going to try that same leg again, and I'm not going to rotate quite as much this time. There we go. Let's try the other side. So we slide the leg along straight, we externally rotate, we drag it back in into that turnout, and then we bring it back to center. Let's do a couple of those, just seeing if each time we do it, can we make it feel a little bit more balanced and a little bit more mobile in those hips. Last one. Just feeling like you're giving your hips a little bit of a massage through here. Lovely. And just resting there. Let's reach the arms up over your chest. And let's breathe into that space between our shoulder blades and send our fingers up towards the ceiling. Notice how the shoulder blades are wrapped around the side of the ribs here. And then send them back down. So could we now use our breath to move our shoulder blades? So as we inhale, the shoulder blades wrap around. And as we exhale, they soften. You could think of your shoulder blades as two slippery bars of soap, and they're just gliding around the side of your rib cage and then coming back. Now, next time the fingers are up towards the ceiling and the shoulder blades around the side, keep them there. Think about how long you're reaching your arms, and could you now really reach those arms overhead? So you'll notice that your shoulder blades come up around your ears, and that's okay. And then you're going to bring the arms back and then soften back down. So you're going to slide the shoulder blades up towards the ceiling, pause there, then reach the arms overhead and notice how those slippery bars of soap have actually slid up towards your ears now. And that's really important. You should feel that you're being pulled up right from your sacrum at the back of you, and then bring the arms back. And then notice this time as you bring them down to the ground, the palms shine down, and could you let everything come to rest? So could we lengthen the arms, float them up, palms are going to start shining in towards each other over your chest, and then give your shoulder blades some freedom to glide up towards your ears. Really reach overhead, feel like you're having a big stretch, releasing any tension through the back of you, and then you're going to send everything back and notice how the palms start to spiral down. Let's add the exhale into this reach, and I want you to feel how the ribs stay heavy but not fixed. So there's a little bit of a lift from them, but feel like more that this is coming from the tissues, lengthening through right from your sacrum, and then bringing everything back down. We're going to do that one more time. So we're going to reach long, shoulder blades come up around the side of the rib cage, palms shine in, and then the shoulder blades start to slide up towards your ears, and you let them come all the way up, and then you bring them all the way back down. Lovely. Let's interlace the fingers. Let's take the hands behind the head, elbows up. And just like we would in our chest lift, use our exhale here to soften down through the breastbone and come up into a little chest lift. And just have a little wiggle here and release any tension that there might be through the back. Keep the weight of the head in the hands and then soften back down. And again, we're going to exhale and come up. Could we now bring one leg up into tabletop, second leg up into tabletop, reach the hands around the back of the legs and just pull here. Feel like you get rounded, longer through your spine, heavy feet. And then as you exhale, just start to feel like you roll yourself back up. From here, take the legs out long, arms out in front of you. Bring the left hand on top of the right hand, and you're going to roll down. You're going to roll down, and you're going to roll down through the right side of your spine. The arms are going to then swoop overhead. You're going to find that position you had before where the shoulders come up around the ears. Swing the left arm down by your side. Let the right arm come and find the palm over palm, and then come up, and you're going to come up through the left side of your spine. Then from here, we're going to come back down the way we just came, down the left side. On that exhale, arms reach overhead. Swing the arms around, and on your next exhale, reach and come up through the right side. And we're going to come back down through the right side. So we're doing this roll up, but with some rotation. with some arm arcs. Oh, and I love the feeling of this. It's just such a nice release through the spine, through the sides of the spine, and up. We're going to pause this time when we come to the top. We're going to just find the center here. So finding that you're nice on top of your sitting bones, reach out long, feel like you're resting your arms here. And then let this movement start from your pelvis, rocking the pelvis back, laying yourself down, and just notice how it feels through your center here. Big breath in. As you exhale, roll yourself back up. This time, could we feel like we're going over a big beach ball? Feels quite apt on my holiday location. And just rest the arms down by your side. It's not about getting to the toes. Instead, I just want you to think about the back has got longer here. And then think about bringing yourself back up to sitting. And could you think about that starting from the pelvis, the lower back, the mid back, until you sit up nice and tall. So again, we're going to feel like this roll up comes from the pelvis. So not the middle of the back. You want to feel like the pelvis is rolling back. Fingers keep reaching forwards. That's allowing your ribs to go back. Your shoulder blades are reaching towards your fingers, and you're laying yourself down nice and long. Nice breath in at the bottom. As you exhale, feel like you're blowing through a straw, ribs going back, arms and shoulders going forwards, and then could you come up and over and have a nice stretch through the back of you there. Hang out here. Could you breathe into that space between your shoulder blades again? Filling it up with air, and then as you exhale, just letting go of any tension. One more time. Letting your breath help you here. And then nice and easy, just bringing yourself up to sitting. Let's go again. We're going to roll back from the pelvis. Arms come overhead. We're going to reach on our exhale, feeling that we're rolling, 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 rolling. And then we're going to come into that spine stretch. We're going to do it one more time, but we're going to start a little bit different. So we're going to stay in the spine stretch. We're going to imagine our ceiling has dropped really low. So it's right above our head. So this time we want to start in the pelvis, but keep the head low. And you should, with a bit of luck, feel that this is a bit more challenge for your lower back. Asks it to find a little bit more mobility. And then we lay ourselves down. And we're going to come back up, staying under that ceiling, and have a nice stretch forwards. Breathing into the back of you here. Oh, this is such a nice stretch. And floating ourselves back up to sitting. Okie dokie. Right, let's come into a Z-sit position. So let's have our right leg forwards, left leg back into a position that we would do often for mermaid. You would see this done. Okay, let's think about now how we could mobilize through our hips a little bit more. So with this left leg, you're going to spiral it inwards and feel how the pelvis gets picked up. And can you feel how it moves your spine? And I want you with your hands to just walk your hands and your body back round. Feel how you're getting a bit of a stretch through the front of this left hip and you're rotating around. And then as you come back, I want you to feel how the thigh bone drops into the hip and you arrive back in center. So can you feel it starts with this internal rotation of this left leg, and then you press yourself around, walk yourself around on the mat, really opening up through the front of that hip and just enjoying a little bit of a stretch around here. And then noticing as you walk yourself back that the thigh bone drops in and the pelvis drops heavy here. So we've got this kind of thigh bone going into the socket and then out of the socket. And what I want us to really think about with any hip work is that we're really working on learning how to get our thigh bone deep into the socket. Often they don't quite get there anymore. We've lost that mobility, and then that's why our hips get quite grumbly. They don't produce enough fluid to protect us, and some people end up needing hip replacements. So I want you to focus on the stretch, but also the dropping back in. And feel like every time you drop back in, we could get a little deeper here. Let's go one more time. This time, as you come back round, you're going to pause when your chest is in front of your right knee. And we're going to walk our hands down so that we're just resting as much as we can on top of our right knee. I'm just going to shimmy back so I'm on my mat a little bit more here. And then move this left knee away from the foot so we've got a bit of space here, and flex that foot. And we're going to do a bit of work now with this left leg. So think about the foot staying heavy and lift the knee up. and bring it down. So this would be some external rotation for that left hip. You want your upper body to feel as relaxed as is possible. And just notice how this feels. Now, sometimes if you've never done this before, it's really hard, but it does get easier with practice, I promise. Now, let your knee stay down this time, and could the foot come up? So now we're playing with some internal rotation. And you might notice that the external was better and the internal was worse, or vice versa. So just kind of notice how it feels on this left side. Now let's combine the two movements. So let's lift the knee up, then lift the foot up so the whole leg is floating now, then bring the knee down, then bring the foot down. So we go knee, foot, knee, foot, knee, foot, knee, foot. One more time, knee, foot, knee, foot. Now let's go the other way. So we're going to go foot, knee, foot, knee, foot, knee, foot, knee, and again, foot, knee, foot, knee. Now lift the whole leg up, straighten it, swing it round and see if it can bring you up to like a sitting position. And then could you swing it round and bring you back to that down position? So can we start to feel this connection of the leg into the body? Depends how much room you've got. I've got this lovely space here. Sometimes when I do this at home, I end up hitting the sofa, but do as best you can. And then arrive back into a Z sit position. And does that feel a little bit more comfortable now? From this position, let's do a little bit of spine movement here. So let's get into our mermaid position. So let's bring the right hand down, the left hand up, and we're going to do a little stretch over. Now what we're looking at is, imagine you've got lights on your hips like we had before, but also on your chest, also on your eyes, and they're all shining forwards. Bit of a tendency to rotate. So let's try and avoid that here. Let's keep everything shining forwards. Soft bend in the elbows, but I want you to feel that there's a press in the hand to open up these left ribs. And could you use your breath to breathe into these left ribs here? And just encourage a little bit more length. Palm is facing down, reaching long just as we had before, and then coming up, and let's go the other way. Now notice the hand that's on the ground has quite an important job to do. It presses and opens up these ribs, so it kind of pushes. Yeah, there we go. And then come back over. Presses and pushes. Presses and pushes. Pause when we're back over this way. Let's add some rotation in now. So we could rotate and feel like you're reaching, like someone is pulling your arm. Let this hip respond. Bring yourself back, come over, and do that counter stretch. So we find that mermaid first. We then add the reach. It's a little twist. You could even thread your needle through. I quite like to do that sometimes. Back and over. One more time on this side. Thread, reach, and back. Just notice how it feels to sit here now. Is it a little bit more comfortable? I hope that it is through these hips. Let's see if we can switch our Z sit for the other way round. So we've got one leg in front of us, the other leg behind us. And let's start with that rotation like we did before. So this time with the right leg, we're feeling that internally rotate. We're letting it pick up that side of the pelvis, and we're rotating round, and we're pushing our hands, and we're opening up through the front of this right hip here. And that might be sticky, so just stay here and breathe. And then as you come back, feel that dropping in feeling that we talked about. We're going to spiral, we're going to walk around. We're going to reach back. How does it feel on this side compared to the other? Is it easier? Is it the same? Trickier? Let's do that one more time. This time as we walk back, again, bring our chest above our leg and walk ourselves down so that we're on our elbows, and just move the knee a little bit away from the foot and have the foot flexed here, just so we've got something to work with. Again, try and keep the upper body nice and relaxed. Could we keep the foot down and then lift the knee up? So now we're looking at external rotation on our right leg. How does that feel compared to the other? Then let the knee stay down and the foot comes up. So we've got internal rotation. Sometimes people say, oh, on one leg I'm really good at external rotation, on the other leg I'm good at internal rotation. It doesn't really matter, just notice yourself. And then we're going to start doing those combos. So let's do knee, foot, knee down, foot down, knee up, knee down, foot down. So we go knee, foot, knee, foot, knee, foot, knee, foot. Let's go the other way. We go foot, knee, foot, knee, foot, knee, foot, knee. Now we're going to lift the whole leg up. We're going to swing it round and see if it can bring us up to sitting. And can we bring it back? Around and back, around and back. We're going to bring it around and we're going to bring ourselves back into that Z sit. Hopefully noticing that this feels a little bit more comfortable. We feel a little bit easier in our hips. We feel a little bit more centered through our spine, and let's go into our mermaid. So let's take the left arm down, right arm over, soft bend in that elbow, and come and find that mermaid stretch. Now press into the hands. Now depending on where you have got your hand on the mat, it's going to open up different parts of your ribs. So find a place that feels good for you. It's a push to open. Your ribs are opening like a fan. So we're not sliding, we're feeling this fan here. And then you can use your breath to breathe into that fan and help it open out a little bit more. And then you can come up and do the counter stretch and press into the hand and come up and over. And just notice how it feels to flow, staying nice and centered. And then next time we're over to the left, we're going to rotate. Feel like someone is pulling your hand away from you. So you get this nice twist through the body. Press into the hand on the ground to bring you back into the side. Come up and over. Over. Rotate. Back. And up. We could add that thread the needle in here, couldn't we? We could thread. I love nothing more than a thread the needle. It just stretches out everything. Last one here. And then come back to center. Okay, we're going to come and lie on our tummies now. And I want you to have your, let's have our hands in a diamond position so we can rest our head down for a minute. I'm going to keep my head up just a little bit so I can speak to you on my microphone. And I want you to just think about the weight of the hips into the ground here. So maybe we could just do a little pelvic clock here, like tipping our pelvis forward and back. In a prone position is kind of interesting. And then just allowing the pelvis to feel heavy. Now keeping the hips nice and heavy, could we lengthen one leg and bend the heel up towards the bum so that we are bending at the knee, but we're feeling that we're staying heavy through the hip. Now if you kind of do this quickly, what you'll notice is you get a gap under here, under your hip. And I want you to think about, can you stay heavy with it? And try the other side. Now this time, let's say it's the right leg. You're going to bend your right leg up, keeping that hip heavy, and you're going to reach the right hand around, and you're going to find your foot, if you can, and you're going to gently push the foot into the hand to open you up. The hand that's on the ground, the left hand can push a little bit, and you can rotate to look around. So we're getting this nice opening through the front of the body, and then just ease it down to the ground. So press, and just yawn the front of your body open. It might not move so much. I'm quite stiff in this direction, so you might be moving more than me, and that's okay too. Press and feel the front of the shoulder opening, the arm lengthening. But the movement is that you're feeling like you're sending your foot away, but because the hand's on there, it's pulling the front of you, and your arm that's on the ground is doing a little bit of work just to help you open through here. I love this movement. I stole it from one of Jill's classes on the platform, actually. And I do it quite often. Rest down, just notice how it feels through that right side that you've done. Bring the left foot up now, grab hold of it, see if you've got the same ability. You might just be holding on to your clothes here, but if you can get to the foot, it's a bit easier. You're going to press the foot into the hand and just feel now that you're extending and rotating and then relaxing in between. And have that sense of a yawn. Like we don't get there straight away. It's just this lovely feeling of getting these tissues to start sliding and opening. I'm feeling a little bit longer here, and we could hold one if we wanted to. We could breathe. So do what feels good for you. We're going to just do one more. And then we're going to rest it down. This time, turn your head to one side and bring your hands onto your back. Kind of have one hand there and then hold the wrist with the other hand through here. And we're going to now lengthen both legs, and both legs are going to kick, keeping those hips heavy. Then as the legs lengthen away, could you lengthen the arms, opening the chest and finding a dart position? Then as you lower down, could you turn the head the other way? And as the head lowers, could we bring our feet up to do that kick? And then as we lengthen, could we feel now that both arms are pulling both sides of the body open? Now the challenge here is to keep the hips heavy and to feel that lovely openness at the front when you find this dart position, but also the work through the back as you hold it and come down. Now we could add in the classical Pilates little kick here, where we do a kick, a flex and a kick, and then we open. So we could point, flex, point and open. And notice as we do those different kicks, there's a challenge on the hips not lifting. That's it. One more time to each side. As slow or as fast as feels like you're able to keep going with this. And then just bring yourself back into a little child's pose stretch here. And have a moment through here, breathing into the back of ourselves, opening up through here. Fabulous. Float yourself up. Just notice how this feels. We're going to come up into a kneeling position now, thinking about keeping our hips over our knees, ribs over our pelvis. And let's now just challenge all that stretch and length that we've got with a little bit of strengthening and stretching, as always in Pilates. So arms are out long, just feel like they're resting so the shoulders feel nice and easy. And could we keep all this alignment and feel like you're sliding the knees forwards and just coming into a little thigh stretch here. So we've got a little thigh stretch. Now, could we thigh stretch? Could we widen the pelvis so that we sit down onto the feet so we're in a nice hip flexion position now? A bit like bridge, could you feel like you're tucking your pelvis under, like pulling your pubic bone forward so that you find the thigh stretch position and then come up? So we thigh stretch, we flex, we then articulate back up and in. And we could do it with our toes tucked as well. I quite like that challenge. Here, flex, up and in, whichever feels good for you. Lovely, one more. Lovely. Now come to the back of your mat. To finish off, we're going to play with a little bit of a lunge series. So really, we've done lots of movement through the hips. Let's add some load into them now. So I want you to think, I'm going to face the camera this way so you can see me. I want you to think that you're standing down into one side so much that you give yourself enough room to bring your leg through in the middle, not so much round the side. Yeah, so we're trying to think about standing down and bringing the leg through. Now, sometimes if your mat's too grippy, it's tricky, but how would it be to bring the leg forwards and back? And I haven't done this in a while, and I can feel it in my body. This is the thing, when we don't do too much mat work, some of this stuff goes. This is really working on those diagonal slings that are so important in our movement and in our balance. So the more you do it, the more you'll find you're just able to do it. Now let's time your right leg is in front, pause, tuck your back toe under, and I want you to stand evenly into both feet so that you come up. And then I want you to bend both knees evenly so that you come down, you release the foot, and you bring the leg back. We take the left leg forwards, we tuck the toe under, stand into both feet evenly, and up, bend, release, and down. Now don't worry if this is feeling wobbly. That's kind of the point. We're not about being perfect at these things, otherwise why would we be doing them? We're here to learn. And our body will often figure out this stuff pretty quickly. See, I'm looking at you and I'm losing my balance. Up. And we're going to finish this time standing. So let's come together. I'm going to come and stand back here so you can really see me. And I'm just in this lovely space. It's my last day here today. This is my last filmed class with you. And I just want you to just stand and close down your eyes. I've got these beautiful streams trickling by me. I don't know if you can hear them. But maybe you could just imagine yourself stood in a beautiful landscape, whatever that would be for you. And take a few deep breaths, just like we did at the beginning of class. Full, long, filling all the air up, emptying all the air out breaths. And just notice how you're feeling. How has today's class landed in your body? Could you release the jaw? Could you release any tension in the pelvis? Could you let your knees feel softer, ankles feel heavier, feet spread, shoulders drop? And see if you can stand here for the last 10 seconds or so of class with the greatest amount of ease. What are you noticing? What has your body picked up in class today? I'm feeling more open through my shoulders. I'm feeling more of a connection of my ribs into my pelvis, into my legs actually. And I'm feeling strength through my back. But what is it for you? Try and put a few words into it in your own head. Really important, because this is how our nervous system picks up this information and stores it and keeps it. Sometimes if we don't tune in, we don't really pick up this information. I hope you've enjoyed this desk to evening or release your hips class. As always with Pilates, we didn't just focus on the hips. It's always got to have the whole body involved. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that feels good, and I'll see you on the mat again soon.